Petroleum-based solvents are commonly used for parts cleaning because of their ability to quickly dissolve oil, grease, dirt, grime, burnt-on carbon, and heavy lubricants. Although effective, petroleum-based solvents present significant environmental and human health concerns. As for human health impacts, the most toxic solvent ingredients can cause cancer or central nervous system damage, while some are acutely toxic, ignitable, and can cause damage to lungs, skin, and eyes. Many solvent ingredients are listed as EPA hazardous air pollutants, HAPs. Some contain volatile ingredients, which contribute to smog and poor air quality. These pollutants impact local air and water quality, impact natural photosynthesis, and can harm aquatic life. Chlorinated solvents in particular are slow to break down in water and soil, posing a threat to groundwater aquifers and ecosystems over a long period of time. The EcoBiz certification prohibits the use of chlorinated solvents. Many also exhibit high toxicity to marine life, so air emissions and/or mishandling of solvents or spills can result in releases to stormwater, potentially impacting water quality and wildlife. There are 4 best management topic area strategies to minimize risks. We will cover several BMPs in each of these areas. 1. Water-based cleaning systems as an alternative to halogenated and petroleum-based solvents. 2. Safer solvent alternatives such as low volatility or low volatile organic compounds, VOCs, and non-chlorinated. 3. Minimizing solvent use and safe use practices. And 4. Spill preparedness. Water-based or aqueous cleaning products and equipment avoid many of the hazards from traditional petroleum-based solvent use, but have a fairly low adoption rate at auto repair shops. Examples are bio-based and/or water-based part washers, spray cabinets, steam cleaning, and ultrasonic cleaning with water-based solutions. For all aqueous systems, physical removal or pre-cleaning of excessive gunk and oil are helpful in maintaining longevity of the aqueous cleaning bath solutions. Oil skimmers and removal of settled solids can also increase the longevity of the cleaning solution. While these systems avoid some of the more toxic solvents, all except bio-based systems still generate wastewater streams, which must be pre-treated with an oil water separator and resulting wastewater tested to determine if it is designated as a hazardous waste. Bio-based systems, if operated properly, should not generate any waste at all over time because the microbes convert grease, oil, and debris to water and carbon dioxide. Most of these solutions also eliminate the need for PPE because the solutions are non-toxic and non-corrosive. Steam cleaning is another option, sometimes used for engine cleaning, but the condensate generated from steam cleaning must be collected below the cleaning area and discharged to an on-site oil-water separator. Ultrasonic cleaning offers amazing cleaning capability and can use non-toxic water-based cleaning solutions. Parts come out looking like new. Limitations of this option are the relatively small tank sizes of the more affordable ultrasonic cleaners, which limits its use for larger parts, versus the larger, far more expensive ultrasonic cleaners, and the wastewater from either needs to be treated. One other comment about ultrasonic is employees feel they might have idle time while the machine cycle is running, usually about 10 minutes, but this can actually be an advantage as the time could be well spent continuing with other maintenance activities while parts are in the cleaning cycle. For spray cabinets or dishwasher type cleaners, they may be caustic and proper PPE is necessary. 2. Safer solvent alternatives like low VOC or non-chlorinated solvents. There are higher toxicity solvents and solvent ingredients that should definitely be avoided whenever possible. These include halogenated solvents, high volatility solvents, and aromatic hydrocarbon ingredients, and certain wheel cleaners. Use of chlorinated solvents, which are in the halogenated solvent family, are not allowed in EcoBiz certified shops. To ensure you are not using any chlorinated solvents, look at the product ingredients in Section 3 of the SDS. If any ingredients have chlor in the name, it is a chlorinated solvent. Another halogenated solvent ingredient to avoid, which may be present in degreasing wipes used in the auto service sector, is 1-bromopropane or N-propylbromide. Avoid aromatic hydrocarbon ingredients such as benzenes, toluene, and xylene, and ethylbenzene. These solvent ingredients are also identifiable in Section 3 of the SDS. Methanol is yet another highly toxic solvent ingredient that should be avoided for parts cleaning. If petroleum-based solvents are needed, purchase low VOC such as 50 state compliant or South Coast Air Quality Management District compliant, which will contain only about 10% volatile content or lower. Section 9 of the product SDS will provide the VOC level or percentage volatility of a product. Finally, while not typically used in engine parts degreasing, two solvents commonly used in wheel cleaning pose potential deep skin and eye burns, not always noticeable until hours after exposure. These are hydrofluoric acid and ammonium bifluoride. Contact EcoBiz for suggested and effective alternatives. 3. Now we'll share a few tips for minimizing solvent exposure and/or wastes. Use PPE as directed in the SDS for each solvent product. Always use the minimum amount needed. Aerosol sprays release a very fine mist which is inhaled deeper into the lungs compared to breathing fumes in the air. Spray aerosols into a rag or very close to the part to minimize breathable airborne spray. Another alternative is a plunger and rag system. When any solvent-based product or parts washer is not in use, close the lid and ensure a tight seal to contain emissions and avoid evaporation. Ensure the facility ventilation system is maintained and operating when solvents are actively used. Never allow solvents, even airborne aerosol sprays, to contaminate used oil or other fluids. This may cause the entire mixture to be regulated as a hazardous waste. Maximize solvent and/or water-based bath solutions by physically pre-cleaning excessive gunk and oil with a rag by scraping or steam cleaning. Another suggestion to increase longevity of the cleaning chemicals is a two-station approach. Use a first or light clean station for parts that are minimally dirty or pre-cleaned. Use the heavy dirty station to pre-clean heavily soiled parts before the light clean station. When the solvent in the light clean station becomes too soiled, add it to the heavy dirt station. This extends the life of each station, generating less waste. 4. Preventing releases, spills, leaks. Never wash or rinse parts outdoors. Never clean parts in a sink that drain to a septic system. Rinse water may only be discharged to the sanitary sewer with adequate treatment and approval from your sewer provider. Never discharge spent solvents, oily water, or other auto shop wastewater to a street, gutter, or storm drain. Keep parts washers on an impervious surface, for example concrete, and clean parts over an impervious surface only. If secondary containment is not otherwise adequate, install a berm around chemical and hazardous waste storage areas and at shop openings to contain any spills or leaks from reaching outdoors. Contact EcoBiz for free secondary containment supplies and consultation for berming. Always use drip pans under maintenance areas, including underneath steam cleaning and also when transferring solvents and other fluids from one container to another. Clean up solvent spills immediately. Keep spill control equipment nearby. Train staff in spill prevention. EcoBiz staff can provide spill prevention kits and training. Minimizing toxic solvent use and safe use prevents risk to staff, violations, and contamination to our local environment and waterways. Reach out to an EcoBiz staff member for further technical assistance.